Hi Aquarius. So I've already set my intentions on drawing a card for you, card being the keyword here. If you haven't already checked out the general reading that I just completed for this month of July 2020, it is uploaded, it is available. Please head on over to my main channel page because that will set the groundworks for this reading. So if you haven't already watched that, please head there first and then come back here. Alternatively, you can watch this first and then go back there, but you know, we need to put some order into the chaos. I've been saying that a lot recently. Aquarius, okay. Thank you for being here, first of all. Almost there. And after I draw a card from this Alchemy of England tarot deck, which I believe I'm using for the first time on this channel, I will be drawing one card from the very tiny Universal Weight deck that I was gifted not too long ago. Oh. Aquarius, I might need to make an exception for you. Two cards. Two cards. Okay. And they're both threes. Wow. Okay. Okay. Let's see what we're working with here, shall we? Beautiful illustration on these cards. Reversed in this case, my dear Aquarius, Three of Swords. And Three of Cups, upright. Okay. Dear Aquarius, what sort of heartache have you been enduring over the last few weeks? I will say this again, probably for the final time. If you haven't already checked out the general reading, please do, because I do touch upon the topic of relationships and regaining control over those relationships as they pertain to certain decisions which we don't always make ourselves, for ourselves and for with our partners. I talk about and emphasize the point that the only two people who have the right to make an informed decision with regards to their relationship with one another are those very two people. No one else outside of those outside of that relationship should really have too much power or control over the direction in which you decide to take in those relationships. And there was this overwhelming sensation that far too many of us have been doing that. I know I have, right? And so this reading applies to me as much as it applies to you. This reading, you know, I will say it is for Sun, Moon, and Rising sign Aquarius. If you are a Sun sign Aquarius, this is hitting your relationship sector more prominently. If you are a Moon, I will say as well that to some extent it is hitting your relationship sector, albeit with a lot more emotion as it is in your Moon. Although Moon and Aquarius, people sometimes do lack in that strong emotion because your intellect in that case, your if you will, what you usually apply for critical thinking, you know, applies to your emotion, which to some degree means that there is less emotion involved for Moon and Aquarius people, but this doesn't mean that this situation is any less painful. It's extremely painful. But I wish to say that you're coming out of this heartache, which you very much potentially have been holding on to for a while. Because you're coming to, I hope at least, that you are coming to a sense of realization that you and you alone should be controlling the fate and the destiny of your relationships moving forward. And as much as we want the people in our lives, especially those who are extremely near and dear to us, to appreciate and be supportive, keyword, supportive of our decisions, we must recognize that that won't always be the case. As much as we want that to be the case, it's not always the case, which is a devastating situation to find ourselves in. Because Aquarius, you're there for so many people. You're there for strangers as much as you are there for your best friends and your family. You're there for strangers too. You're the first to lend a helping hand. Aquarius is all about the group and the community and the well-being of that group and the shared understanding of the shared goal, you know, that we have in a group and coming together that way. But Aquarius, it is just as essential and just as important to pay attention to your needs. Don't be, and I think I said this actually in last month's reading, which was a general reading for all, but it was time-stamped as well for you to investigate your own sign. But it is just as important for you to pay attention to your own needs. And if that means that you need to siphon yourself off from the rest of the world and the rest of the community to get that done, then so be it. Okay. 3 of Cups. This coming together as well of, you know, your nearest and dearest. So here we're really talking about, unfortunately, an uncompromising situation, you know, between people you consider close to you, near and dear to you, who may be, you know, arguing either on your behalf, for your behalf, people with differing thoughts, differing mindsets, you know, essentially trying to dictate the way for you, or telling others that you don't know any better, and that, you know, like, oh, I don't know, I am the mother, I am the father, and I know what's best for my child, who's not even a child anymore. Or, you know, someone else imposing their thoughts on you, an authority figure that you would potentially find difficult to turn down because you would look up to these people before. You look up to them and you say, well, I value your opinion. I value your advice. In fact, I come to you for your advice. I wouldn't do that if I didn't truly find value in doing so. And Aquarius, you pick and choose your people very well, because you are smart people. You don't usually go to the first person that, you know, you encounter. So unlike you'll help anyone, you know, you will help anyone. You may not even vet those people before helping them. But when it comes to helping yourself make informed decisions and, you know, lifelong decisions, right? You will pick and choose who you trust. Trust being extremely key. These people need to have a very good track record with you, right? And yet, they may be doing the opposite right now, right? And imposing control and oppression onto you, and you very much cannot be put in a box and be told to do things a certain way. That's not how we roll, right? So it may be time for Aquarius to make very difficult decisions around who stays in their life and who needs to leave, who's been imposing themselves and their views onto your own mental constructs in an unfair, unjust manner. No way justified anymore. Maybe once upon a time, but not anymore. And I made a comment in the general reading with regards to certain minors potentially who may be coming to these readings, in which case this may not apply to you because you, forgive me, are maybe still too young to make your own decisions. And I'm not saying that we are incapable of making our decisions when we're young, but it's only truly when we start living out our own individual experiences independent and no longer dependent on anyone are we truly able to justify the decisions that we make to be our own and only our own, and we start to know what's good for us, what's best for us, because we know ourselves more as we grow older. For all the adults out there, which I will really hope make up at least 95% of my audience, if you've not been taking control of your own decisions, what have you been doing? Have you been listening to too many people? I urge you to think about that. And I urge you to pick and choose those in your life wisely. You don't have to share everything with everyone, is also potentially another lesson to take away from this. Perhaps we've been too open and generous with the information that we share about our lives. And it is difficult actually for us sometimes to keep certain things to ourselves. It is extremely difficult, at least for me. I find it difficult sometimes. I want to share, I don't want to share with everyone. And we don't often share because we want people to give us their advice or their thoughts. It would be nice to have validation, of course, that we are on the right track. But it's not essential for an Aquarius to receive that validation. We very much are our own validation. If we're doing something, we are fully aware of why we're doing it, right? We don't need anyone to come and tell us right from wrong. Absolutely not. But it would be nice to have a degree and level of support from those around us. Alas, sometimes that must be put to an end and needs to be cut short, especially when it starts to have a detrimental effect on your mental well-being. Something which did come up in the general reading as well. The need to basically release control, to stop fighting excessively, but also not to be too forgiving. So to be forgiving of yourself, but not to draw the line when it comes, and to set certain boundaries when it comes to how much power we allow others to have on us, right? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So we will be coming out of this reversed Three of Swords. In the traditional Rider-Waite, you can view the reversed Three of Swords as the swords falling out of the broken heart, and therefore healing can commence, right? Appropriate that we've got 3 cups, that have come out by this traditionally seen as people, celebrating together, celebrating their successes, celebrating their love for one another, their friendship, their connection. usually soulmate connections, in which case, whether or not we are talking about the very same people that have imposed some heartache onto you, I'm not sure. Whether we are talking about you turning to a group of friends that help you get over and recover from this heartache, that may very well be. But I have to say that these cards, they came out together, and I came to this reading with an intention of drawing one card from the Alchemy of Tarot deck. But I inevitably ended up drawing two cards because they were pretty much fused together. So I take that as a very strong sign. Now, to supplement the reading, I have already pre-shuffled this deck, because if you were with me last month, then you saw the catastrophe, which was my attempt to show you this really cute tiny weight deck, only for it to have completely collapsed, right? And I had to end up picking cards from the ground. So this is already shuffled. So your card, Aquarius, is so small. The 8 of Pentacles, and it's reversed. Okay. So I take this card to be the catalyst which drives us forward in helping us rectify, or at least helping us understand, the consequences of this heartache, which has been endured, right? In that it has prevented you from truly living out your true will and your true purpose. It has prevented you in becoming the master of your own self, because it is reversed. And I urge you to rectify this by taking ownership of the decisions that you make, and allowing yourself to very clearly see with your own eyes that you don't need anyone else to tell you what you need to do or how you need to do it. Although it may hurt maybe not to have the support of others, and we wish we could all be on the same page, but we unfortunately can't control others. And the more we come to understand that it is not possible to control others, the more liberating it will be for you to realize that you don't need others to control you. Now, isn't that beautiful? And on that note, I think I can end this reading. And thank you so much for being here, Aquarius, and to many more of these beautiful readings. So let me know what your thoughts are on the matter. If you wish to share, go ahead. If not, that's completely fine. You can alternatively also email me privately by following the link that will be put in the description beneath. Give this a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to hit the bell button if you're new, and if you wish to receive notifications whenever I upload again. That really will help. Your support will help grow this channel even more. So thank you guys for being here. Much love to you.